My name is Shaina Rantung, and I grew up in the Philippines, Indonesia, Ethiopia, Kenya, and now the U.S. So my dad is a pastor. I'm also a missionary kid. So half of the places I've lived in, definitely my parents served, and other places I went for school. The longest I've lived in a place was about 7 years in Ethiopia, and but that was it. Like everywhere else, I've moved every 2-3 years, so like that. I moved to Africa when I was about 7 years old. By this point, I basically have, grew up in Asia, so my language I speak at home was Indonesian. I barely knew English, but when I was 7, my parents decided it was God's calling them to serve at a college, Adventist college in Ethiopia, and that's where I moved. I grew to call it home. I grew to call Ethiopia where, I just knew everything about it. I learned a little bit about the language, learned the food, people, and that became my home. I think the biggest lesson for me growing up in all these different places is that it starts with people. Everybody's different. Everybody has their own way of doing things. As a Christian, I believe in following Jesus no matter what, but at the same time, you gotta realize that culture plays into a lot of things. There definitely is a culture shock moving to these different countries. It always starts with the house or the place I live in, because different places I've lived in duplexes, in apartments, I've lived in houses, I've lived in dormitories. The shock always starts there, and then from there on, the shock continues to the different kinds of ways that people greet each other, the different ways that people talk to each other, eat, different things. But that's the joy I get out of moving around so much, that I can absorb all these and incorporate it and define who I am.
Halo, namaku Shaina Rantung dan ini kehidupanku.